Hello, friends. The 748th day of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. Today, Ukraine, apparently, is conducting a massive military information attack against Russia. It involves a drone strike that began at night and continues throughout the day. At the same time, an attempt was made to break through the Russian border by the Russian Volunteer Corps and the Russian Freedom Legion fighting on the side of Ukraine. Today, drones attacked a large number of regions of Russia. An oil depot caught fire in the Oriol region, and a large oil refinery was hit in the Nizhny Novgorod region. Parallel to the air attack, a ground operation is taking place, which includes an attempt to break into Russian territory in the Belgorod and Kursk regions. The Russian Volunteer Corps, the Freedom of Russia Legion, and the Siberian Battalion took part in the raid. In the morning, military telegram channels of Ukraine and Russia began writing about an attempt to break into Russian territory in the Belgorod and Kursk regions. The Legion Freedom of Russia confirmed participation in the operation, saying that we will take away our land from the regime, centimeter by centimeter. The Legion is going to the polls. This refers to the Russian presidential elections, which will take place this weekend. Russian military officers reported a battle on the border, after which the attackers were repulsed with losses. Videos were published of a tank allegedly near the village of Lazovaya Rudka, located right on the border of Ukraine and the Belgorod region of Russia. And also a video with the sounds of shooting, allegedly in the Tetkino area in the Kursk region, which is also right on the border. Russia's Federal Security Service said Russian forces destroyed 100 people, 6 tanks, a Caesar self-propelled artillery unit, and 20 armored vehicles during the border attack from Ukraine. They also stated that the penetration of Ukrainian sabotage and reconnaissance groups into Russian territory was not allowed. This morning, the Russian military, together with the border guards of the Federal Security Service, thwarted Kyiv's attempt to make a breakthrough into the territory of the Belgorod and Kursk regions. Having suffered significant losses, the enemy was driven back, the Russian Ministry of Defense said. It is alleged that the strikes took place in 3 directions. In the areas of Odnovivka, Nekotevka, and Sidoroshino, as well as in the area of the village of Tetkino in the Kursk region. At the same time, the Russian Volunteer Corps, fighting on the side of Ukraine, which took part in the attack, stated that it was moving through Russian territory and published a night video of the shooting battle. The Legion Freedom of Russia published a video of allegedly entering the border in tanks. Later, the Free Russia Legion, fighting on the side of Ukraine, announced that it had taken control of the village of Tetkino in the Kursk region on the border with Ukraine. He did not provide any videos confirming his control over the populated area. A video was added to the statement, which only shows a certain settlement filmed from a drone, through which men in military uniform are running somewhere. The Legion stated that these were Russian soldiers fleeing. Also from the Ukrainian side, videos have appeared of a tank moving near a certain forest plantation. It is stated that it broke through the border with Russia. The Russian Ministry of Defense, in turn, showed a video of the destroyed former checkpoint in Nekotevka, which shows a damaged tank. Allegedly, this is the tank in which the Ukrainian sabotage and reconnaissance group tried to break into Russia. Meanwhile, the Freedom of Russia Legion says that the battles for Tetkino were still ongoing as of 3 o'clock in the afternoon. At the time of writing, no further news had been received. It was expected that Ukraine would launch a massive attack on the eve of the elections in order to raise morale in Ukrainian society, show Western partners that it was capable of striking Russia, and also try to demoralize Russian society and awaken dissatisfaction with the Russian authorities, who cannot protect cities from blows, thereby undermining Putin's authority. However, the latter is only possible if someone picks up the topic in this vein within the Russian information field. And a year ago, this is exactly what happened. Gherkin Strelkov, Prigozhin and his network of Telegram channels were actively engaged in dispersing treason. But Prigozhin is no more, Gherkin is in prison, and treason in the information field has been greatly screwed up. As for not informational, but purely military consequences, it is too early to talk about them. Periodic attacks on infrastructure in Russia are certainly painful for Russia, but are unlikely to be fatal. Let me remind you that the Russians have been regularly shelling the entire territory of Ukraine for more than 2 years now. But this did not lead to a complete collapse of the Ukrainian economy and rear. And moreover, less destructive and less numerous attacks from Ukraine are unlikely to lead to the collapse of the Russian rear, especially considering the incomparability of the scale of the territory. There could be certain military consequences if the Russian Volunteer Corps and the Russian Freedom Legion were really able to take and hold for a long time any Russian settlements in the border area. Then Russia would have to transfer reserves there from other directions. During previous raids in the Belgorod region in May-June 2023, everything was limited to short-term actions, which soon stopped. They had mainly an informational effect and did not affect the general situation at the front. We'll see how it will be this time in the near future. Friends, preparing these daily reports has become my full-time job, and I have no other job for obvious reasons. There have been few views on the channel lately, which is why I ask for your help. If you have the opportunity to support me financially, I would be very grateful. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.